Okay, so this is my first week planting up here in the garden. It's been a whole year, and I kind of let everything go to crap, but not to worry. We work really hard out here, and some sweat and some tears and some sore muscles, we get everything coming along real great. So over here is my hugel garden. That's the buried logs. Some of those are from last year, and then the other ones we brought in from on the bottom of the hill that we used last year for the hugel gardens. We brought up here and added to this mound, and then put the dirt from down on the bottom of the hill we put down here, up here as well. And so all of our gardening for vegetables is going to be up here on the hill, not down by the house. It works better for us. Keeps everything up away from the dogs, I think, and keeps the garden in one spot. Since this was the largest area to garden, this is what we chose to, the area of land we chose to garden. So I've got out different heirloom tomatoes growing over there, just baby ones. And then I've got some, just planted some squash over there, and I think I got some rhubarb growing up there. And here's my potato box with some concrete blocks with some burlap at the bottom and some potatoes, and they're already sprouting. And the burlap is so I can dig out my potatoes easy without going too far in the ground. And underneath that cylinder box is a hugel garden, actually. It's got some buried wood. And the wood that I put in there is a palm tree, a green palm that we cut up a couple years ago. And it's decayed, and it's really spongy wood, and it's perfect for that. So we'll see how that does this year. And then, of course, my cherry trees, they look good. We just planted those last year, so they're slash plum. Another cherry tree in the back over there. And as you see, we get a lot of wind up here. And then over here is, we cleaned this out, and I kind of changed everything up. I took the center basil island out, and now I have one big open space in there. And so my tools are laying there now, but anyway, so I kind of changed it up a little bit. This whole mound here is going to be strawberries, okay? And the strawberries are going to come down into this area here, and then I got my artichokes growing, and then I've got a raspberry vine growing up on those two little poles. Then this area here is going to be, I got a couple eggplants coming there, and then down at the other end, I got 3 or 4 eggplants down there. And I'll come around in a minute to show you that. So coming around my strawberries, I got a whole strawberry mound. It's going to go down to the back. Now in the back here, I just planted, right back here in the corner, some butternut squash, a couple seeds, so we'll see how they do. And this area here is going to be peppers, like bell peppers, hot peppers, cayenne peppers, chili peppers, all the peppers. And that's a good size for peppers, good size plot. I got both seedlings going, and I'm also going to have some, I just planted some seeds. I just scattered some seeds in there. So those are going to come up here, all right? And that's one left over from last year, scraggly, but I think it's going to do fine. That's a bell pepper. That's plum tree. It's going to be nice and shade for this area. And in the back here with the trellis, I've got some cucumbers coming up. Okay, and then the back up there, I got some the butternut squash. And this is another, this is one squash plant. This is called kohlrabi. Kohlrabi. It's kind of interesting plant here, but you eat it. You can the stems and the leaves are all edible, and you eat it like I think it's related to the broccoli/cabbage family. And I haven't had it yet, but I plan on having it either tonight or tomorrow. And this whole area here is going to be kohlrabi in the back, and then it's going to transition and go radishes here, all different heirloom radishes, and then kohlrabi in the back, And then it's going to transition into all carrots. This is going to be all carrots right here. This is going to be my herb garden. I've got dill, I've got basil, a couple different varieties of basil. I've got different onions going, and some poor little, what do you call that? Cilantro. Those 2 cilantro plants are barely hanging on, but I think they're going to be fine. And then I also planted some cilantro seeds, so they should be fine. Here's that eggplant I was talking about. That's doing good. And then a couple more little baby eggplants. Nobody here but me likes the eggplants, so they're grown on the outside there. It's another cherry tree in the back. And then that raspberry / blackberry bush. I don't know which one it is. All right. And then my beautiful sunset. Let's see. Go to the light. Come around. Too bad with the light, but I got a gorgeous sunset here. This is what I see off my back hill every night. Got avocado, my mini avocado grove going. Mini avocado here. Got some more avocado trees going down into like a V pattern. My wish would be this whole back hillside planted all the way down there. It's a long ways. I don't know, I'd say about 100 feet at least or more. I'd love to plant this whole hillside with avocado trees, but they're expensive. I've got different varieties of avocado. I've got Haas, I've got Clinton, I got Bacon, Fuerte, and then I've got something called Mexican. They're all down there. And right now, I've got little tiny avocados coming on my tree here. There's that there. And if I get in there, let's see. Well, those are good ones right up there. It's hard to see them against the leaves. There's a nice size one right there. Actually, there's a really nice size one, but you can't really see it. Okay, and so the tree's pretty big. I'm going to guess when you go down, all the way down to the ground, up, it's got to be at least 13 feet high. So it's a good sized tree. So hopefully I get nice avocados this year. And so here's another view of my garden. And remember, that's my eggplants. Those are my herbs, my basil, onions. I got dill. Kohlrabi's up there. That, clean this whole spot off so I don't have to worry about. Last year in the very center was my basil island, and it was this whole mound in the middle built up with basil and mint, all kind of herbs growing on it. And a snake came through and freaked me out, and I ran, and it was hard stepping over everything. And I don't have a problem stepping over rakes and shovels, although I know it's probably a danger, but that one island in the center really made it hard to maneuver around. So I took that out. That way I can see when I come in here to work. I look for anything moving, crawling on the ground, slithering, as you will. So I think that's going to help. Got some strawberries already coming up. And then again, take you back over to my Hugel garden. And what a Hugel garden is, it's a German, I guess, old German method of gardening where they buried rotting logs, wood. And the idea is the wood decomposes in the ground after a couple years. At first it sucks up the nitrogen, but then it releases it in abundance, and so it kind of like self-fertilizes. It also decreases your irrigation needs because as the wood rots, different, I want to say molds come in and fungi, and this mica or whatever they call it, fungi, build like a web network underground, and it gets to the point where it's going to hold on to water, and the wood holds on to water too. And I'll show you in a minute what I mean. And it acts like a reservoir. And then these little mica or fungi spread out underground, and they weave like a pattern underground, and they go out, several feet. So eventually, I have like my little drip irrigation system right now on my trees. But eventually, from the rotting wood, the fungi is going to spread out so nice underground and make this web-like deal that holds water that's going to water all the surrounding trees around here. And so I got all these fruit trees that are going to benefit. A cherry tree up there. So it takes about 2 years to get to that point. This is my second year. So after this year, I should be able to decrease my watering needs up here. Norco is part of the desert, and the Indian Empire, so it gets dry. So you can imagine what we probably would use with water. So I'm hoping, and this is called a Hugel garden. Now, this is an example of a piece of wood, and the reason why it's out is because I brought it from downstairs, and I was showing somebody. This is queen palm, and this has been sitting out. Now, we've had hot weather for the last 3 days. Today it was in the high 80s. But yesterday and the day before, Sunday, Mother's Day, it was like 105, 103. It was scorching hot. It was dry. And I just want to show you something. This stuff is wet, and it just kind of holds on to moisture. And I know that, you know, we water out here, but if you think about this being submerged under the dirt and how it will retain water and how it will hold it, and then how it will release it and dry, you know, when it needs it, and how the fungi and all the molds grow off from it, kind of get an idea of what Hugel gardening is. And so, look at the wood's pretty freaking wet, and this has been underground. So, and we haven't done a whole lot of watering, and I'll prove it to you. We watered up here, but where I brought that piece of wood from, and some of the wood that's up here right now, okay, some of it's from last year, but a lot of it we brought in from down here that was buried underground. We brought that in so I can keep all my gardening up here. And I'll show you that I haven't been doing any watering at all because I'm purposely letting the grass die. So we're getting brand new sod in there. So that's the area where my garden was, and we brought it up here. So we had to dig out all those logs, all the queen palms that were buried under the ground. And the rest, what you see, is just dirt. All dirt. And it's pretty freaking bone dry. All of this is bone dry. So you can tell it doesn't really get much water. So that wet log you just saw, that wet piece of wood, is pretty much from being buried in the ground all year and acting like a little reservoir, I guess. And eventually what they say is you're going to be able to just use your captured rainwater and have a self-irrigating system all year long. That's my hope. All right, so that's it for now. And this is just the beginnings. We've only been out here for about 3 days, so one last look around. We'll wait and see it in about a week. It's going to be nice. And it's an apricot tree there. I got all different kinds of fruit trees. So, all right, later.